Friday, March 17th, 2023 was St. Patrick's Day. People were celebrating all across the country.
I had a shamrock shake. That is very good, by the way.
People are flooding the streets for parades. People were going into all the restaurants and bars and stuff.
Yep.
So Cedar Point said, hey, we have a great idea. Let's just kill everyone's fun. I don't know if it was planned that Cedar Point figured, hey, let's take a day where everyone's distracted, but they decided to announce their 2023 early entry schedule on St. Patrick's Day. Now, in case you don't know what early entry is, most parks around the country do this kind of thing. Like Cedar Fair calls it early entry, and it's just where you get into a park.
It's when certain pass holders get into the park an hour earlier than everyone else, or if you stay at one of their hotels, like Cedar Point, for example. If you stay at Hotel Breakers, you get to go in an hour earlier than everyone else, and you get to ride a select few rides.
And Cedar Point's is an hour, and then some other parks like Kings Island has a half an hour.
30 minutes, yeah.
And stuff. And that, like, for years, me and you, before they had season-long Fastlane or anything like that, we would go, we had our Platinum Passes, we would go to Cedar Point, and, like, before Steel Vengeance was out, we'd head straight back to Maverick. We'd go ride Millennium.
Yeah, Millennium Force was like the early entry ride, but we would always like to ride Maverick and all that stuff.
We'd get in like 2 Mavericks and 3 Millennium Force rides before the park even opened.
It was great.
And then we could use like some other part of the day to ride either smaller things or to get like one extra big ride. And early entry was the way that we went and enjoyed our day at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
And things changed. They started to remove rides. They removed Steel Vengeance. Then the next year, last year, they removed Maverick. And people were freaking out. But they still had pretty much always 5 coasters. They always had 5 coasters. Like last season, it was Gatekeeper, Valraven, Millennium Force, Iron Dragon, and Magnum. Those were the 5 early entry coasters. And then they would have some flat rides, like they had Max Air open last year. And then different rides throughout different years and stuff. So everyone was so excited for the 2023 early entry schedule. Were they going to get Steel Vengeance back?
Steel Vengeance early entry? That would be cool. Are they going to get, Wild Mouse perhaps? There's so many different rides. Like, what coasters are they going to add? What's going to happen?
So we figured they would add Wild Mouse because it's their new coaster. So they could remove one of the other rides because we didn't think they would.
We didn't think they were gonna have like 6 rides open for early entry.
Yeah, so you could get rid of Iron Dragon or something, and that would replace Family Ride for Family Ride, or something maybe like Magnum or whatever. But they could have done any number of things to add Wild Mouse, which we kind of figured they would do. But then, boom, out comes the list. Oh, wait, I see Gatekeeper on here off the bat.
Gatekeeper, that's one coaster open. Let's go. Okay.
Gatekeeper,
fun early entry ride.
We ride it a lot for early entry.
Let's go, okay.
And Wild Mouse.
Okay, new coaster. That's 2 coasters so far. We're cooking. We're cooking right now.
We knew Wild Mouse was going to be on there. Oh, Atomic Scrambler.
It's not a coaster, but I'm sure the other coasters that they're going to have open for early entry will come later.
Then they got Matterhorn.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Then they got Calypso, formerly known as Tiki Twirl.
Or always known as Tiki Twirl for me.
And they got Dodgem.
Okay.
Dodgem's fun. That'll be good for
still haven't named all the rest of the coasters.
I was getting to all the coasters.
Okay.
And then they have Kitty Kingdom select rides in Kitty Kingdom.
So what are some of the other coasters?
And then the list just completely stops from there.
Well, what about the other coasters? What about the other rides?
Cedar Point, what are you doing? 2
coasters.
Roller coasters. 2 roller coasters at such a huge park with so many roller coasters, so many huge roller coasters that get big, long lines throughout the year. Okay, I haven't seen such a backlash throughout Twitter and Facebook in forever. People are angry, folks.
They're angry?
You guys are angry.
You are?
I'm angry.
You are?
He's angry.
I am.
All angry. We got a whole bunch of angry people out here because Cedar Point, now after COVID, before COVID, they had a thing called ERT nights. And they would take specific nights, usually I think on Wednesdays throughout the year, and they would keep 2 roller coasters open, either Steel Vengeance and Maverick,
Top Thrill Dragster and Magnum,
Millennium Force and Rougarou.
Didn't they have like
Gatekeeper and
Valraven? Yeah.
And so when COVID hit, they got rid of it. And then we found out at Coaster Mania last year that they were just done with it, that they weren't going to be bringing it back. So ERT stands for extended ride time. And anytime that you have extended ride time, that's time that certain people, usually pass holders or resort guests or something like that, can ride a ride beyond the normal hours that general public people just with regular tickets. Mm-hmm. So early entry counts as ERT. And so they got rid of the nighttime ERT. And now they obviously, they're not going to get rid of. We did a whole video about things Cedar Point will never get rid of. And early entry is one of them. But they surely just stripped early entry down.
This is about as bad as early entry could get, other than removing it completely.
Yeah,
because 2 coasters and only 1, 2, 3, 4 flat rides, and then some Kiddie Kingdom rides.
And not even Max Air.
No Max Air.
What all these rides have in common is they're all in the new boardwalk area. Mm-hmm. So they're just kind of trying to shove everyone over to boardwalk area. Which, okay, if you're going to do that, you have a great ride called Max Air.
Yeah, Max Air. That's a ride that does this, and it's like a lot of fun, and it's right there where all this other stuff is. Why can't that be open?
And you only need a couple people to actually really run it. So why couldn't that be on here? Lots of questions. I don't know if maybe they're planning on, they released the lineup a little bit too early, and there's a whole lot of rides that they're going to list in a few more days after they recover.
I'm going to say that will not happen.
I mean, probably not. But part of what this video is about, a lot of you probably watching this already knew exactly what rides were on here and knew that you were upset and stuff like that. So this video isn't necessarily just to tell you what rides are going to be for early entry.
It's why.
Why did they take out 3 roller coasters and some like really good flat rides? Now, could it be because one theory I see being flashed around is that they're actually trying to reduce the number of pass holders. They're trying to get rid of the incentives to be a pass holder. And now, why would they do something like this? Well, because Cedar Point doesn't make a ton of money off of pass holders.
They make more money off of people that aren't pass holders and just get regular tickets and don't come as often because they buy more stuff. Sometimes they'll stay at hotels a lot more. They'll probably like buy merchandise and souvenirs.
And they don't have food plans like us. We have platinum passes, we have season-long fast lane, and we have our food plan. So we go to Cedar Point, and unless there's like some new merch, like a new shirt that you would really want or something like that, we don't really buy a lot, but we spend a nice chunk of money up front every year. So they get money from us. They get plenty of money from us. And probably more money than these other, like just a regular family going once or twice a year with just regular tickets. Mm-hmm. But they're looking at guests walking into the gate and that day what they spend on average.
Yeah, and they spend a lot more from entering the park and leaving the park than people like us.
Like us. And you guys, if you guys are pass holders or stuff. So they don't care about us. So one theory is they're trying to get rid of
us.
They want us to die, apparently. I mean, they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to make The Last of Us, except Cedar Point pass holder version. There's going to be like 3 pass holders like running around Cedar Point, and like no one's going to be a pass holder anymore.
Yeah, and that's what they want. Tony Clark's going to find all the pass holders and like kick them.
But also, one of the main incentives for resort guests, like we said, resort guests also get the early entry. One of their main benefits is that they also get an hour early into the park. So you could stay at some hotel down the road and just drive into the park every morning if you're there for a few days, or you could stay at Breakers and be on property and get an hour early. So if you're like, okay, maybe I'll spend the extra money to stay at Breakers or something like that. Oh, and I get early entry an hour before everyone else gets in the park. You guys sold me on that. Oh, these are the rides I get. Gatekeeper, Wild Mouse. Those are the rides I get for early entry. Okay, I'll save
going back to the Motel 6.
Yeah, I'll save a few $100s for this trip and go over there, and then just come in with everyone else and just like ride this stuff just throughout the day.
And then you said that some people are upgraded from a gold pass to a platinum pass just for early entry. That's something that you saw.
I seen that a lot on social media.
So imagine, you have a gold pass and you really want early entry
because we didn't mention it. Gold
pass doesn't get you. That's why I said some passes. Gold pass does not give you early entry. Platinum pass does.
Starting in 2023. 2019, when gold passes came out, they got early entry. 2020, there was no early entry because of COVID. And then 21 and 22, gold pass got early entry. But now they announced last year for 2023 season and going forward, gold pass will no longer get early entry. So to your point, what you were saying,
gold pass doesn't get early entry. Platinum pass does. So someone who has a gold pass might think, I want early entry. I'm going to upgrade to a platinum pass. So they upgrade to a platinum pass, and then they see this, which is the list, but you can't see it. It's terrible. And then you spend a lot more money on a platinum pass just to ride Matterhorn for early entry and like nothing else.
So we get platinum passes, and a lot of people get platinum passes because we do a lot of traveling. So we go to a lot of other Cedar Fair parks, and so it's worth it to us. But if you're a person that is just into Cedar Point and doesn't really care about other parks, and you were a gold pass or before that a regular pass holder, and then you're like, okay, I want early entry. I got used to having early entry, so I'm upgrading to this platinum pass. So you just spent an extra $140, $150 or whatever just to ride Gatekeeper and Wild Mouse. So I'm sure you're upset. If you're one of those people, drop a comment down below. You can vent. We're here to listen. We're like your therapists.
Yeah. You can let all your anger out on Cedar Point to us.
And we're free. All you have to do is watch the video or subscribe. Or if you feel like paying for that therapy session, then this is a perfect time to mention that we have channel memberships. In the channel memberships, you get exclusive things like certain videos that aren't available for anyone else.
Yeah, and we just released a video talking about our journey as roller coaster enthusiasts and all that stuff. And I think it is a very good video, but only members can watch it.
And you get special shout outs at the end of videos, and we'll either shout out your name or list your names, and other perks, like we're gonna do specific live chats and stuff with just channel members, live streams and stuff. Down in the description, there's a link to our channel membership page, so you can go to that, and then that's like paying for the therapy session. So
with perks,
yeah. So let us know if you're one of the people that spent extra money on a platinum pass, and now what you're going to do. Are you going to call Cedar Point and complain?
And say, hey, Cedar Point, I don't like you that much. I want my money back.
I want my money back. Because I'm interested in what they would say after this kind
They'll say, no, beep, beep.
After this kind of garbage lineup comes out. So anyway, another reason why they may have done this is because, as in most companies, Cedar Point and Cedar Fair in general is all about the money.
Money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
And as fans of Cedar Point and Cedar Fair, we want them to make money. We want them to be very profitable.
Because if they don't make money, then Cedar Point closes and every Cedar Fair park closes, and then we don't get Cedar Fair, we don't get any of their parks, and then we'd all be very sad.
And we don't get new roller coasters, which we all love so much, and we don't get new upgrades and stuff like that. So we are all for Cedar Point and Cedar Fair all making tons of money. We want them to. That's all well and good. But as of late, they've been doing a lot of things, a lot of cost cutting that makes it seem like they're putting customer experience down here and they're putting profits up here because they just got rid of, for 2023, they're getting rid of Forbidden Frontier.
Probably, I mean, I'm sure to save money so they don't have to pay.
Because there are a lot of actors back there.
Yeah.
A lot of actors back there. So all those people, all those hours, all summer, you have to pay those people. So, hey, you know what? Now we don't have to pay those people. And in another cost-saving maneuver, they went cashless all across Cedar Fair starting last year. A couple parks like Kings Island did it a little bit earlier, but they went, Cedar Fair chain-wide went cashless. And what this did is it cut out a lot of employees at each park that their job was mainly cash handling. And so they were able to save, in the fourth quarter of 2022, they were able to save 7% on their operating costs versus the fourth quarter of 2021. And this is largely in part because they were able to cut jobs. So you see a trend right here. Cedar Point nights. They got rid of Cedar Point nights for this coming year.
And they had like a DJ and stuff. And
they had DJs, they had people.
People they had to pay. They're gone.
They're gone now.
They want to get rid of like any person that they have to pay. I mean, they're trying to get rid of as many people that they have to pay as possible because they want to save money.
They're trying to keep their operating costs as low as possible. And that's the only true reason. I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons, but I think that's ultimately the main reason they're cutting down to 2 roller coasters. Because now you have 3 roller coasters that you don't have to open and you don't have to pay people to operate for that extra hour.
Yeah.
All those days, what Cedar Point's open 145 or so days a year. So if you take all those people's hourly wages, you cut an hour out of that, and all of a sudden Cedar Point is saving about $50,000 a year. Plus, what if they think that they're going to add some maybe fast lane sales because of this? Because what if people were thinking, okay, we don't need fast lane because we can get in for early entry, what we used to do.
Yeah, and we'll just write everything during early entry, and then we don't need fast lane. But now you can't write everything for early entry, so you're gonna need fast lane.
So maybe that will up the fast lane sales in their eyes or something. I don't know. There's so many different reasons that these parks decide to do this kind of stuff. But tell us what you think.
Yeah, what do you think? Why are they doing this? I mean, that's just some of our thoughts.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts, your opinions down below. And go ahead while you're down there, subscribe, do all that stuff. We appreciate you guys watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time on Beach Cliff Studios.